This is Ty Metalhead Weatherman. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Getting close to the end of the week. Hopefully, you guys have some good weekend plans. I know what I'm going to be doing. But for the most part, I'll probably just be staying home and watching football, but hey, that's just me. Before I get into today's tropical outlook, I've also kind of been thinking, I've been noticing the last few videos have been running pretty long, about 15 to 20 minutes. Plus, we're going to try to do a little bit of a format change here, if you will. We may kind of skip out on doing the tropical wave deal right now. The way the upper level wind pattern is, it's pretty much the same story as what we've seen with Earl and Danielle. It's just everything going out to sea. So, I think on this one today, we'll probably skip it and we'll just cover what's out there already and some of the recent news with that. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start out with Hurricane Earl. It's the strongest storm out there in both the Atlantic and the Pacific right now. So, if I can just click it. But as of right now, we're still holding at a Category 2. We are sitting at 100 miles an hour. It's been going through a little bit of a degenerative out. It looks like the eye wall is kind of degenerating a little bit, but I think it partially is due to a eye wall replacement cycle, and I do expect it to begin a strengthening cycle very soon, based off the satellite imagery. I think within the next 6 to 12 hours, I expect it to start strengthening again and maybe make that push towards Category 3 and major hurricane, which would also make it the first major hurricane for this season. Crazy to think that we're in September and we're still not only in the ease of hurricane season, but the fact that we have not had a major hurricane in the Atlantic at all. Thankfully, this won't be affecting land too much, but this will make a close pass to Bermuda, which will bring tropical storm conditions. Hence, there is a tropical storm warning. But beyond that, there really isn't too much to go off of there. Might get some squalls, some heavy rain, some increased surf and rip currents, but beyond that, nothing really changes with this. This hangs on to its major hurricane status through early Saturday, and then by about Sunday, we're losing hurricane status entirely, and we start to become post-tropical here by Saturday as well, from the looks of it. Alright, so no real surprises here in the track. We're looking at a post-tropical cyclone come September 10th, and from that point, it's probably just going to be a fish storm that doesn't really affect too many people unless you're out at sea, unless you're unfortunate enough to be out at sea at the time. Alright, so now that we looked at that, let's go ahead and take a look at what is now post-tropical cyclone Danielle. The NHC is issuing its final advisory on this, so they will not be covering this, but there is a way you can check this stuff out. We will go ahead and take a look at the satellite imagery. Not even looking like a tropical system at all anymore. The whole entire southern side has just been eroded away pretty much. Excuse me. And essentially, the eye wall, I mean, there is still some remnants of an eye, but it's definitely not looking like what you would consider to be a textbook hurricane. That's for sure. This thing is still expected to do its little loop-de-loop here, and it's the confidence continues to increase that we could be looking at a post-tropical entity maybe making some sort of impact with Spain and or Portugal. And this looks like it's going to be on Tuesday, around noon Tuesday. I'm not super familiar with this time zone. If you want to correct me in the comments, let me know. But as of right now, we're looking at a storm with 65 mile per hour sustained winds, and it's moving at 14 miles an hour. So again, mid next week, most likely. That's when we'll start seeing impacts over there. If you want me to cover this storm, try to cover this storm after this advisory here, maybe I'll say 5 likes. This video gets 5 likes, I'll cover it all the way through to its landfall. Otherwise, I'll just leave it alone. All right. So we'll go ahead and kind of skim over this last NHC advisory and additional information for anyone that wants to follow along with or without me. It can be found in the high seas forecast that is issued by Meteo France under WMO header. So meteofrance.com will be covering this storm. If you want me to cover it, again, 5 likes. If not, you can, and you're just looking to cover it yourself, link will be right here. I'll actually drop this link in the description. If I can get this thing to work. There we go. That being said, let's go back. Then we're going to take a look at Tropical Storm K, which has actually made landfall over the Baja here. If this will load, dang. I don't know what's going on with my computer. But this actually did make landfall as a hurricane, by the way. So we'll go ahead and take a look at it. You can clearly see it's lost some of its luster, and it's actually getting into the Gulf de California. I think that's how you pronounce it. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But you can clearly see that it is making a pretty good push onto the Baja here, and should be probably heading off within the next 24 hours. Tropical storm warnings are still in effect. These tropical storm winds are extending pretty far out from the center still. And we're expecting it to maybe clear the coast and head out more towards the sea come, I'd say, maybe early Sunday morning or late Saturday night around mountain time. This also becomes, of course, post-tropical, and also will do its own little loop-de-loop here and probably just die out here at this point. Water is going to pretty much be used up while it's still a tropical entity, so that upwelling will cool the water, thus making the storm unable to take advantage of whatever environment is over here if it were to be a positive one. Alright, so September 11th is when we're expecting this thing to become post-tropical. No real surprises there. And that's pretty much it here. We do have those other two tropical systems, other two tropical entities, and confidence on this one up here has actually decreased. I did mention in the last video, link will be in the top right hand corner here, that we would be looking at a very narrow window for this to develop, and it just hasn't. Therefore, I'm thinking that the NHC is starting to lose confidence in this. I think maybe within the next couple of days, if it doesn't develop, we're just going to completely lose confidence in this and just focus on this tropical wave that's a little further to the south. There's still not a lot of confidence in this developing either. So this is a real hit or miss game that we're playing with here as far as these tropical waves that come off the African coast. The conditions are so flip-floppy because this there's a ridge right around here that just keeps moving around, and it's bringing in its own dry air and wind shear along with it. And this plays a big part in making or breaking tropical cyclones. That wind shear is not an ally, and dry air is definitely not an ally of tropical cyclones. So if you have those two working against it, development is usually slow, if not completely inhibited. So now that that's been talked about here, go ahead and take a quick look at the we'll try and go ahead and take a quick look at the satellite here. If I could find my brain. Here we go. Okay. Go to the National Hurricane Center here. And you can see it. This X is actually supposed to be where that low pressure is highlighted, and it's all and all the storms, all the activity is all based in one corner, one of what the circulation is supposed to be. So I'm not too optimistic about this one at all. And then the same can be said for this one. The development's a little bit more symmetrical, but it seems like it's off to the left side, maybe a little bit of development to the south. Neither of these storms are looking too hot right now. So we're gonna have to take a look at this and just see where it goes from here. But it looks like we also have additional tropical waves that are about to slip off the coast right now, so we'll have to watch those as well. But that's it for this video. I'm hoping that this one is a little bit more suitable. If you like what I did in the video, leave me a like, drop me a comment, share the video too. Of course, subs are always nice too. But I might do the weekend forecast. It doesn't seem like a lot of people are interested in it. I may do a long range forecast. I'll figure out something to do for Friday. But until the next video, this has been Tire Metalhead Weatherman. I'm signing off. Have a good one.